Camera's on. Thing that we say now is being recorded. Okay, temperature. Add in a little bit. And traffic looks good. He's out over there. Get that temperature up a little bit. All right, I'm ready to talk. Switch over to tower. Double Eagle Tower, Trike 264 is at Alpha 1, ready to depart 2-2 for the northwest. Hold short.
Trike 364, Double Eagle Tower, under hold short, runway 22.
264, holding short, 2-2. You comfortable back there?
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Good. Okay. Now watch my dial here. You see this here?
Yes.
That's 5801. That's our altitude right now.
Okay.
Okay? This is how fast we're going. This is ground speed. So if you want to know what we're doing ground speed, how fast we're going over the ground,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you and tell you a few things like that.
Okay.
And then if you can see here,
Yes.
this is, that's our airspeed.
Okay.
Okay, airspeed, ground speed. I'll explain the difference while we're up there.
Trike 364, the wind 2007, turn right on course, runway 22, clear for takeoff.
Roger, 364, clear to go. Northwest departure, 364.
Double Eagle Tower, Trike 46 Yankee at the north ramp for taxi with information Juliet.
Trike 46
Okay.
Yankee, Double Eagle,
Helmet down and locked?
Yes, sir.
All right,
You
everything
see
good?
that
What's
plane?
that?
You see the glider off?
Oh, yeah.
46 Yankee, taxi
Thank
to
you.
22 with Bravo Alpha.
All right,
and,
ready to go?
We'll be
Yes,
staying
sir.
in the
Okay,
path.
here we go. Tally-o. How'd you like that takeoff?
That was quick.
That's because you're light.
Okay.
Trike 53 Charlie, the wind 2006, runway 22, cleared option.
Trike 53 Charlie, clear for the option on 22.
Can you feel us being pushed this way?
Yes.
That's called crabbing. And that wind is coming this way pretty good,
Okay.
and it's pushing us out to the north.
Okay.
You can also notice here that airspeed up here,
Yes.
I mean ground speed is 53 mile an hour.
Yes.
Our ground speed, I mean our airspeed is only 45 mile an hour. So there's a 10 mile an hour wind pushing us this way.
Okay.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Wow. It has a lot of the hang glider feeling of you're really controlling this wing by your muscles. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, very much so.
Trike 364, frequency change approved, taxi to Lakewood.
Roger, 364, frequency change approved. Now what he just did is he released me from the control area.
Okay.
What I want you to look at over here is look at the way that sun hits these canyons and stuff out here. This is stuff that you've probably never seen before in New Mexico. That's where we're going to sort of go, is out that way.
Yes.
Up to the tower, Trike 46 Yankee.
So what's our roughly elevation from the ground?
Right now, they're about 600 feet.
Okay.
Make left traffic, wind 2106, runway 22, clear for takeoff.
Now remember we took off, it was 5701 or something like that.
Okay.
You just subtract this altitude from what we took off from.
Right.
See how much smoother it is up here?
Yes.
Just that 50 feet difference from where we were when we were coming out here was, you know, sort of bumpy like this.
Yeah.
Just that little 50, 75 feet up makes that difference. We've still got the push, the headwind or the quartering wind, crosswind really.
Crosswind, yeah. What wind speeds do you not want to fly at when the ground speeds start to get over 30 miles an hour, 20?
Well, in the air, it's sort of deceiving because ground speed really means nothing to us other than how fast we're going across the ground, you know?
Right.
Airspeed is what's important. And because lack of airspeed causes stalls, you know, your wing stops flying.
Yeah, yeah.
So with a good headwind, you know, we may be doing...
W Tower, Trike 53 Charlie, left, midfield downwind in the pattern to the option on 22.
We may be doing, with a 10 mile an hour headwind and 40 mile an hour airspeed, we may be doing 30 mile an hour ground speed, you know? That's just, we got to push through that 10 mile an hour headwind. Conversely, if we've got a tailwind, then that tailwind pushes us along at 10 mile an hour faster. So
Okay.
everybody wants to fly with a tailwind.
But your average cruising speed without a lot of wind is about 50 miles an hour?
45 to 50,
Okay.
depending on how heavy the load is.
Okay.
Typically I fly at, with two people, I like to fly at about 45 mile an hour, 45 mile, or airspeed of 45 mile an hour. That prevents me from getting into problems with a stall or anything like that. Now, you'll notice here we're crossing this escarpment here. The ground's getting lower. We've stayed the same, but our altitude is really showing higher.
Okay.
See, because there's a lot more room, or the terrain is going down.
Yeah.
Now, the FAA says, I can only fly to 10,000 feet up. Whatever the altitude, you know, wherever I'm at, I can only fly at 10,000 feet.
Yes.
So, unless I'm in trouble, not trouble, but unless I'm flying and I have to cross a 10,000 height mountain or a peak or something, then I can go 2,000 feet above it.
Okay.
Tower, Trike 46 Yankee, left downwind, runway 22 for an option. Yankee, cleared option, runway 22.
Now you see the way the aerodynamics of this is, while we're flying, if I'm flying nice and level, in an airplane pulls back and it changes the rudders and it climbs, right?
Yeah.
What we do here is while we're flying, the only way we climb is with our throttle. So watch what happens to the front end. Watch the nose on the horizon,
Okay.
and watch what happens when I speed up. See us coming up?
Yes.
That's how we climb. And then the same thing for when we want to come down, we just descend, you know, let off on the throttle, and then
And the nose dips.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So that's sort of how the wing flies. And again, you know, when you're driving in a car and you put your hands down on the bottom of your steering wheel,
Yes.
and you know you're holding it, you go this way,
Yeah.
the car turns that way.
Yes.
Same thing with here. When I want to turn right, I push out on the left wing a little bit, and what happens is we're on a pendulum. We will go out there. Our weight will lean out there because we're on only one hang point above us, like a hang glider.
Yeah.
So when I push out, or push the wing out that way, we sort of move that way. Our momentum, inertia goes that way, and then the wing will turn. So watch.
Okay.
Little movement, just like that.
Yeah.
Just come around.
Uh-huh.
And I straighten it out.
Nice.
And the same way with the other way. We bring it out that way.
So you push to the right to turn to the left.
Yes. That's what's called, that's why this is called a weight shift control. You really can't see or feel much about the, feel the seats move out and back.
Yeah.
But if we were doing, you probably see some of it on the video, but we just can't feel it much here when we do a turn. Watch, I'm going to go to the right here. And just sort of feel, see if you can see that pendulum move a little bit.
Yes, I do.
And when we lean that way, the wing sort of lifts up over there,
Yeah.
dips down here, and that's how we fly.
Uh-huh.
Are you cold at all?
No, I'm okay. I mean, moderately, just
Your hands cold?
brisk. No, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
You're the barrier.
Good. I'm a big barrier too.
Yeah, thank you. You're doing your job.
Thank you. I aim to please. Now, this river, or this thing out here, it's not much of a river, but it is. It's called the Rio Puerco.
Okay.
You've probably seen it when you've gone to Jemez and through Jemez and around up there like that.
Yes.
It's always dry, unless it rains up in Jemez or it rains up in Cuba. Well, we'll get some rain, we'll get some water in this Rio Puerco. Now you know Cabazon Peak? You've heard of it?
Yes, I don't, yes.
There's I mean, it's a wonderful nature area. They got lots of hiking. And it's just gorgeous up there, and it's real nice. They haven't ruined it yet. You know what I mean? And that's straight ahead, about 30 miles.
Okay. What are those posts over there?
Good eyes. Those are windmills and grants. That mountain there is Mount Taylor.
Oh, that's Mount Taylor. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just. So what are those again? They're windmills.
Yeah, windmill farm.
Oh, okay. I hadn't realized we had them out in this part of the state.
Yeah. Now we probably have a little bit of a tailwind now. Look at our our ground speed's 57 mile an hour.
Okay.
So it's pushing us now.
Pushing.
Yeah.
A little bit of water in there.
Yeah. Now, did you see the movie Lone Ranger?
Yes.
That was filmed back behind us. We'll probably fly over that way
Okay.
and get a chance to see that. There's nothing there, nothing there but some marks that help us know where they filmed it at.
And there's not much out here, is there?
Well, I think a lot of beauty.
Yes, no, I love it. I said there's not a bunch of stuff out here.
No, there's not, and we're lucky. We're really lucky. I think a lot of this, on that side of the river there is Indian reservation,
Okay,
and on this side is BLM.
I see. So it is a good walk if you have to take an emergency landing.
Yeah. Well, a little bit. We're about 10 miles
Okay,
as the crow flies from Double Eagle.
okay.
You'll see out here these little marks like that there. Do you see that trail
Yes,
down there? That's a cow trail.
okay.
They're either coming from someplace to the water or going back to where they hang out at. There's some cattle down below here.
I see them. Ahead of us.
It's interesting, the babies don't pay any attention to us. The mamas